We're here to do the quick start tutorial. Just going through the tutorial, maybe a couple cards after that. I have already set up the tableau already. I will explain all the different things that has been done just for those who are trying to get started. So all we have here is I have separated the open from the locked item cards. So all the locked are in order, all the opens are in order, numerically, already set up. I've taken the heirloom for myself here, and I've put that in the locked slot at the top. The extras for the multiplayer aren't needed, so I've just left them out. I've taken my shard card, which I'll explain when at the start of the tutorial, and I've put that next to me here. I've got my rune pool ready to drag from whenever I need. I've got the dice ready, I've got the event marker ready, with the event tracker being set to 0 right now. I have the condition cards, numerically, set out next to me, ready to draw from. I have the lore, all the lore connected, in numerical order as per usual, and set out next to me as well. I have slotted in Rosalind Gutierrez already into my dashboard, as I know that is the character that I will be picking for the quick start tutorial, and I already have her little icon ready. Threat cards, also numerical order, set out next to me in this little slot here. And lastly, my character sheet, specifically for Rosalind Gutierrez, next to me already. I will read this out and then I won't really need it until I may possibly see the key code somewhere else. So let's start. Voodoo is a part of my family, tracing back from many of our ancient Louisiana families to the earliest African tribes. My mother is Christian, but also a Mambo. My aunt was a Kaplata. Our family is allied to the Simbi Loa. I am no Mambo, but I dream and I have nightmares. I know and accept the reality of Cthulhu and his cult of great old ones. Ever since that night in 1907, when my aunt was killed deep in the swamps while aiding Inspector Legrasse and the New Orleans police, I saw through her eyes, saw the awful writhing of the cultists, heard the chanting of words that held impossible power. I still hear that chanting, whispering far off in the darkest moments of the night, and I know that dread Cthulhu still remembers my family. My dreams are no longer my own. I have seen his shadow, felt his presence, stalking me through the weed-choked bayou. Only the Loa can protect my family from the great wave that is coming. Interesting. So I'm just going to put that there. Right, before I get started, I have set out in the premium insert all of the different decks. So I have Ceridian, Rose Crystal Palace, Dilath Lane, Celophaeus, Enchanted Woods, Valley of Sky, Ulthar, White Ship, and the Far Ocean. All set out for myself in numerical order in the 100s, 200s, 300s, 400s, 500s, 600s, 1100s, 1300s, and the 1500s. The way that would be set out is you go through each of the hundreds, taking all the cards, putting them together, and putting the realm portal card in front, just so that you can see and know which one you're going for. All of these, for those who don't have the premium insert, you do not need them until you are actively in that realm, so you can just put them to the side and grab them later. I have sorted them, at least some of them, in the sense where I have all of the unlocked cards at the front and all the locked cards at the back. Let's see if I can show you. Here, for example, the Far Ocean. I have all of the locked cards at the front, and then all the unlocked cards at the front, and then all of the locked cards in the back, in numerical order. So all I have to do when I'm getting to said realm is I take all the unlocked, move them to one side, and my locked are already ready to be pulled when needed. Lastly, all of the 2000s I've placed to the side. These are all, again, in numerical order. All you have to do is just sort them. And then I'm leaving that to the side. Again, just easily ready accessible just for if I need it. And same lastly for the locations, also in numerical order in the grey side. left to the side again because I don't need it until I get there, which in the quick start tutorial we will, so I'll explain that when it comes to it. Right, let's get started. So, follow this tutorial for your first game to quickly learn the most important rules. Set up the tableaus shown on page 3 to 4. For this intro game we will only have one shard. So, as I've already done, I've set up the tableau and we've got one shard ready to begin. We've put our character in the board already. We first set Rosalind's starting stats to 1 deja vu, so let's do that, 1 deja vu. 1 lucid, let's put that there. Don't really need to go to it because it's said, but I will show you. Page 9, not page 9, sorry, page 7. Here, we've got all the character stats readily available. Rosalind's at the top, 1 lucid, 1 deja vu, 9 sanity, 9 vitality, 13 items and 6 rewards cards. The items are for how many items I can hold at a time, and the rewards are how many rewards I can hold at a time. After taking number 1, item number 1, I've already placed it down, and it's Elder Rune associated with it. This one here. I'm using the metal rune set, just because I like it. There are the cardboard ones as well. I have them on the side here, readily available as well. Same thing, they're the exact same, just you just have it with you. After taking item number 1 and its Elder Rune, we draw 3 random item cards from the starting gear set, which is cards 2 to 14 of the item deck. We draw number 4, 8 and 13. So let's get number 4, let's get number 8, and let's get number 13. Fantastic. Obviously being in order, very easy to collect when I need them. Right, the other undrawn items are returned to the open items deck because you don't want them mixed up. We have our 3. We have a feathered hat. My favourite hat singled me out as a stranger to the Dreamlands. Only sometimes was this an advantage. Fantastic. Earthly coins. I found a small pile of coins from home in a pocket. Would they be worth anything here too? Okay. And lastly, my trusty slippers. I felt oddly comforted to know that I had my trusty moccasins with me. Fantastic. We want to protect these starting items from potential discard effects, so must choose which to place in the 3 protected slots above our character sheet. I've already set it out in the locked because we want to make sure that we never ever lose this. So it says place the heirloom here, number 1, and 2 others, leaving 1 item vulnerable. So I will grab my feathered hat here, gives me an advantage in speech tests, so I will keep that because I think I'll be talking a lot. And I will take the barter one as well, same with the earthly coins. So those are locked. And lastly, my slippers, because there's no slots available, just go onto the side. These 3 are locked. I cannot discard them until I take them out if I need to. We take the 1 shard card, right here. Make note of the ability in the lower part. She can spend 4 deja vu to gain +1 lucid at any time. I sadly only have 1 deja vu, but if I would like to, I can convert one to the other at any time. And follow the instructions on the upper part. Rosalind gains +1 lucid dreaming. Fantastic. I just gained straight +1 right off the bat. Bang, stick that up. The shard card specifies 4 possible realm cards. So if you look at the top, we've got the Enchanted Woods, the White Ship, Cellophase, or Dilathleen. In a normal game, not the quick start, you would just choose one of those 4 at random, and that's where you'd end up to begin with, and that's it. In this case, it says here, we take the portal cards from those decks and draw 1 randomly, Cellophase. Returning the others, the Cellophase portal card is flipped to its active side. So, we're obviously, they've done it for us, so we are going to end up in Cellophase to begin with. So, we flip the card around, and this is where we begin, Cellophase. We also put our little icon next to it saying that that's where we are. We place the Rosalind character marker on the portal to show Rosa is travelling in the Cellophase realm deck, and the event marker is placed on the lowest blue space of the event tracker board. Already done that, but that's where you would put it. We are now ready to join one of Rosalind's scattered dream fragments, exploring the fair city of Cellophase. We have our unlocked cards, put them to the side, and our locked cards, put them to the side. Also, the locked cards are all in order numerically. I'm going to stick that to the side over here, because it just means I can reach it later. And we will go through the unlocked cards. So, what's the first one we pick up? The first story card from the Cellophase deck, 615. Fantastic, it's right there. And we read the narrative section. I'm going to put all the other cards on this right hand side over here. because I don't need it. If you do not have the playmat, very simply, the way I would say for you guys to do it is you have your locked deck in front of you, like out of the way, and the unlocked deck just underneath it, for example, kind of like this, where you have the locked deck, the unlocked deck, and then cellophane would be, so you know where it is, you've got your unlocked deck that you can pull from, and the locked deck that you can also pull from. But just out of the way, not in your playing area, it would just be somewhere else on the table or to the side, doesn't really matter. 6:15, time to read the narrative section. Dusk found me at the seaward wall, where the stevedores and sailors from regions beyond the Serenarian Sea gathered to trade tales. The harbour water sparkled with a million shining motes to match the twinkling lights appearing throughout the city above, as sunset tones gave way to the indigo veils of night. Majestic merchant galleys rode the quiet ripples near spice-fragrant wharves, full of painted fishing boats from towns down the coast. Ever new seemed this deathless city, for here time had no power, and the same ships as of old still rested at anchor, waiting for cargoes that perhaps never arrived. Fantastic. We notice a key code on the bottom left position, but we don't yet know what this is linked to, so we must ignore it for now. There is a key code down here. Looks like a ship, and we have no idea what it does, so we're just going to leave it for now. Phase 2 reaction. The reaction options require skill tests. The first two tests, however, are difficulty 0 and therefore automatic successes. The Barter 3 test is harder, but applying both Rose's character skill bonus and the bonus given by 8 would help us attempt it. Okay, so down here we have the 3 options. The first 2 in this case, the number next to it says how much it is, how many successes you need. 0 just means you pass it immediately. And the last one here has a Barter 3. So the way this would work is if I was wanting to take the Barter test, I would look at my character. I see that I have a barter skill. I also gain a little extra barter skill from my my earthly coin, So they could possibly help us. For now though, if I'm sure, yep, we're deciding not to do it in this case. Athib sits on a crate of shogun spice. Just like on previous occasions, you may greet him as before, which is a conversation 0. Or we can spend the evening enjoying cellophane delights, which is a wait 0. Or we can ask the revelers about gates to the waking world, which is our Barter 3 that I was talking about. The option about Athib sounds interesting, so we choose that, succeeding the conversation test. So our speech test of 0, we pass it immediately. Note, the other options are now closed to us unless we return to this card in the future. You can only pick one, unless the card tells you to flip it back over and choose another option, or we end up coming back to this card later. So we have picked the first one. Fantastic. We succeeded straight away. So we now flip the card over and read only the speech success story entries. So we flip it around. We'd read the success side, which is the blue side with the blue arrows. Athene greeted me as an old friend and offered to share some of his stagweed. We gain item 22 and we go to locked card 621. Fantastic. Phase 5, results. The conversation paragraph states that we gain item 22. So, item 22, we have a look through. Let's see. 22. Fantastic, that's what we wanted. We have gained some thagweed. Amazing. We could swap this with a protected card if we wished, but then we would need to test a fate for the removed item. Instead, we leave the thagweed unprotected. So, in this case, we could put it up here if we wanted, but it would replace another one, and whenever you move something out of the locked cards, you have to test for a fade. What that does is basically you roll the Cthulhu dice, and in this case, I got a Cthulhu, which means the card that I've now moved out ceases to exist. Cthulhu makes me forget that it ever existed to begin with, and I lose it completely. In any other case, if I rolled a success or a blank, the card's fine. In our case though, we're not wanting to do that. We do not want to do that, so we're just going to keep it unprotected and put it with our trusty slippers. Oh, actually I should read it too. Thagweed. Dreamlanders would chew this weed they called scrap for its strong stimulant properties. I preferred to smoke it. Great. Finally, this card tells us to draw locked card 621. The card 615, which is the one we're on, is now successfully completed, so we can gain the card for its rewards shown. So, at the bottom of the card, we have our rewards. We have a think ability, we have a sanity, and we have a deja vu. Instead of storing it for later, we choose to spend the card now for +1 deja vu. We're going to use this rewards card straight away to gain the deja vu right off the bat. So let's put our deja vu up, and since we have used it, we get rid of it and we throw it away. It goes to what's called memories. These can be brought back later through special abilities of our character, or if we end up, coming back on the same card, we bring it back, we can read the card again. So this story card is now finished, so we discard it to memories and draw, as it told us, 621. So it's a locked card, so we ignore the open pile. We look to the locked pile, 621. Fantastic. We've unlocked part of the story. And we're back to phase 1 again. So phase 1, it says, there is no event icon nor deck icon on this card. There is another key code, but for now we must ignore it. We read the narrative section. So in this case, no event at the top left, and there's no deck icon at the right. So we read the narrative section. According to Athib, I had known him for many years. I asked whether I was the same person as before. Surprised, he answered that I had always been me. How could I be me and also another? I explained how I felt connected to other dreamers, as if they were part of me, yet looked outwardly different. Athib suggested perhaps it was the city's curse that prevented its citizens from forming new memories. He explained that produce had to be shipped here because it would not grow in Uth-Nargai, and no children were ever born, because change in the act of growing required the blessings of Krons, Lord of Time. Luckily, Athib has a ship and thus can escape the city. You can ask for passage to another port, which is a speech 1 test, or if if lore item 127 is in play, we can ask him about the city. We don't have that, so we can't do it. Or we can inquire if he's willing to sell any spice. The reaction options, again, all require skill tests. We don't have lore 127 in play, so we cannot take that option. And do not wish to leave Celaphase just yet, because we've only just got here. Why would we leave? So instead, we decide to try the barter 3 test. Fantastic, that's the last option. So we can inquire if he's willing to sell any spice. The trade test option requires 3 successes to pass. Rose's Elder Rune Pool has a base of 3 fortune runes, so let's start off with our 1, 2, 3 fortune runes. These are the half star ones. And our item number 8, because it has a bonus to bartering, we can use it to gain an extra 1. So now we've got 4. We decide to add the special rune from her strange heirloom to the pool, so we've decided to use this one as well. You don't have to use this, you can throw it afterwards if you throw your runes first and then pass the test. There's no point in rolling the extra one because there is a chance you gain a Cthulhu. But obviously for this case in the quick start tutorial we will, so we're going to add that. Just to show in this case, for this example, I have thrown 2 halves. They do not connect, right? The star must fit together. I can show you an example here. These stars do connect, it creates the sign and as a success, but this does not because the star is not complete. In this case here, we have linked up a success with the side of the heirloom, so that gives us 2 successes, 1 for this star and 1 for this star. So that's fantastic. The issue is though, we have only got 2 successes, so we failed the test. We needed 3, we only had 2. So the outcome, back to the card. Since we failed, we flip it this way and we read the fail outcome, which is the red arrow side. We read the barter section. It says, sorry my friend, says Athib, all my spices are sold. Maybe next time, eh? Unlucky. Not too bad, there's no spice available. We can return later in the dream and try again. The penalty section shows 2 hunted tokens. So, penalty section's here, just like the rewards. In this case, we have 2 hunted tokens, which must be applied if possible. We have no hunted condition cards in place, so we can ignore this penalty. The hunted condition tokens go in the hunted cards. These are condition cards that are specific throughout the story, and it's usually either thieves chasing you or creatures chasing you, and you're being hunted down. And this would make it worse. Thankfully, we are not being hunted, so this does not apply to us. There's nothing for the tokens to be placed on, so we can ignore it. No problem. The finished story card is discarded to memories, and because no other card is specified, we draw a new story card from the current realm deck. Right. This doesn't go anywhere, there's nothing to do, we can't keep the rewards because we didn't succeed. So straight off to memories, like the other one, and since it hasn't told us to go anywhere specific, we take yet another open card. In this case, we are going to open get card 618. Perfect. When you're playing, obviously, and I'll explain once we get to it, but in the quick start, I'm picking up exactly what is written there, just so that we're following along the same process. But normally, your open deck would be shuffled, and you would just pick one at random from the top. This card has a event icon at the top, as we specified earlier. This means that the event tracker moves up by 1. So, phase 1, this card shows the event icon, so we raise the event track by 1. This triggers the deck action. So, we move this up, and it gets to 1, so we have a look at our Cellophase Portal card. We see that in the 1 slot there's a green circle with an exclamation mark in it. That is the deck action, which relates to the middle part here. Rest and relaxation. For a while, the beauty of the city pushed back my nightmare fears. So our option here is that we can either increase our vitality by 2 or our sanity by 1. In our case, in the quick start, we raised our vitality stat by 2. Wabang, wabang. We're now at 11, thank God. Right, that's that part done. We're going to read the narrative section again. Attracted by roaring water, I came across a beautiful bridge, arcing over the narrow gorge through which the Naraxa flowed. The rushing river frothed in brilliant white cascades over glistening rocks, covered in verdant green mosses and liverworts. Spots of colour flitted here and there as a myriad of long-tailed butterflies arrived to lick minerals from the wet rocks. But even in this tranquil setting, I noticed Cthulhu's influence. As the butterflies took flight, larger, ugly birds with crossed beaks swooped down to snatch them away. The locals clapped each time another insect was eaten. It's a bit crazy. Just as another rule of thumb, when you're on a card, you kind of just start at the top and you slowly make your way down. So in this case, the event comes first, then the narrative section, then this little icon here, which I'll explain very quickly, and then this bottom part. So basically, you travel down the way. The only thing that doesn't relate to this is key codes. If you do find a key code that is correct, you can ignore the card completely and just travel to the key code specified right away. So you don't have to do anything. So, we've done the narrative section. After reading the narrative section and reaction options... I will read the reaction options. So, you may pause to observe the butterflies, which is a observe 2. If lower card 7 is in play, we can go do a think 0. Sadly, we don't have any lower cards right now, so we can't do that one. Or we can follow the river's path through the city, which is a move 0. Right. So we've done the reaction options. We gain a +1 here to our sanity. So let's increase that straight away. Fantastic. Considering options, we decide to leave the observe test for now and choose the move test instead. So we've decided to follow the river's path through the city and do the move test. As it is a move of 0, the test is an automatic success. So instead of rolling the Elder Rune pool, we can move directly to phase 4. So we succeeded. Shoop, we spin it round. We're still on the succeed side. The move success outcome tells me we have discovered a new location. Okay, fantastic. Move section. Following other citizens led me to a wide pool, and then there's a symbol of a hexagon with 2 koi fishes in it. This is the location. Firstly, however, we can claim the current card for rewards. We gain 1 experience point, which is here. So we move our experience up by 1. Yay. The other rewards are skill bonuses which can be spent later to add a fortune rune to our pool or saved up towards gaining a skill mastery upgrade. We therefore store the card and do not place it in memory. So, if you look at the bottom in our rewards, we have the manipulate, we have a think, and we have an observe. These don't do anything for us right now, but it's good to keep, so we shall keep it. I'm going to place it underneath my character sheet, or character board, sorry. All I need to do is solely just look at the icons available, and that's it. We can keep that for now. Specifically for all the characters as well, as we mentioned before, and in the stats section of the characters, I can only keep up to 6 of these reward cards at a time. If I was to have 6 and I wanted another one, I would have to throw one away and replace it with a new one. I can use it if I would like to. I can use it and then that would technically get rid of it, so then I can put the new one in. But I would not be able to use the one that I've just gained until I have removed like a slot available for it. But we'll get to that when we get to that. So, phase 6, to discover location. So we have made it to the, if you remember, the hexagon with the koi fish on it. That is the location. So to discover location, we flip over location portal card number 24, which I know is the one on the bottom. We know it's the right one because it's got the same symbol. And we flip it to its active colored side. Yay, we've unlocked it. Placing it on top of the Cellophase portal. This is now our temporary location within Cellophase and will remain an active location for the rest of the game. We move our character marker to here also. We know we've experienced what it's an iridescent pool. So we have technically now unlocked it and we can keep it for the rest of the game. We place it over the last one. We are now in the iridescent pool. Phase 1, all locations have a linked story card. It's written here, in our case. It's 671. That's still in the Cellophase, so I'm going to look through this for 671. Should be near the end somewhere. There we go. It's our locked card. And we are reading the narrative section again. Here the Naraksa rushed over multiple tumbling cataracts, bisecting the city. The king had employed fine artists and architects to release their imaginations and fashion the most sumptuous platforms, viewpoints, and arching bridges to cross the river. Following other citizens, I came across a deep pool overhung with elegant willow and plum. Visitors would throw in coins for wishes or feed the brightly dappled fish, swirling languidly through the crystal clear waters below. Equally colourful and noisy finches warbled in the low-hanging trees. Fantastic. You also know that it's location specific because at the top left here we have the location symbol, so we know that that is the card that is linked with it. After reading the narrative, we gain lore card 163, which is mentioned here. So let's get lore card 163. 163, it's the one right at the end. Fantastic. And it is the iridescent pool location. Fantastic. That's precisely what we wanted. I'm going to put that here in my lore section. After reading the narrative, we gain lore card 163, which shows the matching key codes. So you'll see down here, we have the 3 key code symbols. If you remember earlier, we saw that one of the cards that we had a weird symbol like this, but it was a ship instead. Maybe that leads to another location. I do not know. For now, we just know that at any point, if we see this symbol on any of the story cards, we can link it up and travel straight back to the iridescent pool right away. That's how we would return to the location after we've left it to begin with. Instead of having to go through the same options and make sure we did the same test correctly, this makes us go straight there because we already know how to get there, so why would we need to do a test for it? As long as lore card 163 remains in play, we will be able to find this location in the future by matching its key code on story cards. 671 shows the deck action icon, so we can choose to trigger the deck action shown on the location card. In this case, we do a build test of 4, which we roll a reward die, we roll a Cthulhu dice, and based on the response, things happen. Wisest of Fish action requires a build 4 test. If successful, we get to roll an Elder die, that's what it's called, with different outcomes depending on the result. A success would give us a precious lucid. A Cthulhu would send us to a different realm deck showing the city icon in the top right corner. So, to show that off, I'm going to take Ulthar for example. Ulthar has that city symbol because it is a city. Same with Dilathleen for example. Dilathleen also has a city icon. But let's say for example the Enchanted Woods. That isn't a city, doesn't have the city symbol. So we would basically be forced to move to either Dilathleen or Ulthar in this case. We choose to skip the deck action for now and instead return to 671. We don't want to do it, so we're back on our card. For now, and return to 671, reading the narrative and then choosing a reaction. So I've already done the narrative section. It is time for you to save Rosalind from her nightmare. After completing the story card, the dreamer will return to Cellophase realm deck to draw a new story card. The iridescent pool location is set aside now face up, and 671 is recycled below it for easy access later. And that's it for the quick start tutorial. So let's continue on. I will not be reading this, and we're going to make our own choices now. So we can either observe the fish, which is a observe 0. We can enjoy the tranquility, which is a rest 0. If item card 62 is in play, you may feed the fish. Do we have item card 62? No, we do not, so we cannot do that. Or if item card 8 or item card 68 is in play, we can make a wish. As it turns out, we have item card 8. So let's see, we can do that one, which is a manipulate 0 test. So I'm going to do that one, because why not? It lets us use our stuff. I'm going to move all this out of the way just to make it easier. We always stick with 3. Right, so let's make a wish. So it's a 0, so we automatically succeed it. Straight over. We have to discard number 8. Gets rid of it, which goes straight back into the deck. And then we get to roll a reward die, which is this one. We get a sanity. Fantastic. Yay. Right, gains a sanity for that. And then that's it. The card has a recycle symbol, just to, as I explained earlier, it gets recycled later. So we're done with the iridescent pool, so we head back to Sell a Face. So the way it works is this stays on the coloured side because we've unlocked it, we've met it. So then we take the recycle, we put it underneath because they're linked to each other. They're like the specific story card. And we move it out of the way. We've now unlocked the iridescent pool and we're back to Sell a Face just like normal. Right. So since we didn't pick anything up, we pick another card from the open deck. I'm going to shuffle this specifically just because. It's shuffled. We will pick the first open card. Right away, event icon at the top. So we move the event tracker up by 1. In this case, number 2, which is the one we're on, gives us a +1 hunted token. Again, we're not being hunted by anything, so it does nothing, we're fine. Right, so, as if another part of me summoned its wayward kin, I was drawn through the pleasantly busy streets to the Whitestone Quay, where citizens would meet to watch exotic fish or listen to the chatter of songbirds in the cypresses. Crouching by the deep pool, I cupped one hand to drink. There was a strangeness to my reflection. Definitely still me, but with clothing and belongings different. Somewhat unnerved, I flicked in a black stone, only to dodge aside as my reflection returned a pale white replacement. So, you may throw one of your items into the water, which is you get rid of it. You discard one of your item cards and you do a manipulate 1. We can see how our reflection reacts to our touch, which is I think 2, or we can wade into the pond and see what happens. I am going to... Let's see, what am I good at? You can pick anything, there's not just specifically ones you're good at, but I will see, because it makes it easier at this point in the game, let's see what I'm good at. Am I good at manipulation? No, I do not have that. Am I good at thinking? No, I'm not good at that either. Am I good at navigation? I am good at navigation. Okay, so I'm leaning towards the wading into the pond, which is the navigation one. Or I could throw one of my items in the water, but do I want to do that just yet? I don't think I want to. What I will do though, is since I've now got a slot available, I will move my trusty slippers in here. Moving an item into the locked is fine, it's when you remove them from the lock that they possibly have the chance to fade. I'm keeping it there because I want to keep it locked. And protected, sorry. So, let us... screw it. We'll wade into the pond and see what happens. So, it's a navigation 2. So, I start off with the 3 to begin with. I then... what's the next thing that I can do? I gain 1 from the navigation that my character has specifically. And what else do I get? Do I get anything from my... items? No, I do not. Okay, so that's all I get. Again, I can choose later to throw my heirloom if I want to. I have a possibility. If I roll these perfectly well and I get 2 successes, I don't need to chance it. So, let's go. Right, let's see what I get. So I have... Let's see if I can try and add these together. The way that I do it is I tend to make them just so I can see each half and know which side they are. Because obviously we need a right side and a left side. I have thrown 4 right hand sides, so obviously none of them are going to link up. let's think about this. If I rolled my strange heirloom as well, I have the chance of getting 1 success and then see if it connects with the rest of what I have. And that would make 2 if I do it successfully. So, yeah, let's chance it. Why not? Come on. Yes! So, I get 1 success here. Let's see if the rest connect up. Yeah, that's a right and a left. That's a right and a left. And that's a right and a left. So there you go. Because even though I rolled nothing but right-hand sides, I ended up working it together. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 successes, which is way over what I needed. I've succeeded in wading into the water. So, I succeed, so therefore I flip it around. Read the success side and read the navigation side. The waters of Sky and Araxa intermingled as my fragmented selves crossed paths and changed places. I gain a lucid dream. And then I shift to Sky. So, I get to keep this card anyway because I succeeded, so I get to keep its rewards. I'm going to put this underneath my character board. But we shift to Sky. So, let's move all this back out of the way. And I will explain what shifting does. So, we have shifted to Sky, therefore we are not in Cellface anymore. I take all the locked cards and all the open cards, put them together. Obviously still, so like later on when I come back I can just separate the 2 very easily. The Cellface portal back on the top again, and we put it away. No more Cellface for us. We are in the Valley of Sky. Bang, Valley of Sky, straight away. So, same thing as normal, we put it out in front of us. Put this here. The event track goes back to 0 because we're in a new place. And we will sort out the opened from the locked as per usual, like we normally do. It'll be open, and these are all locked in order. So I'm going to put that here. And I'm going to shuffle the opened one, sorry. Okay, put the open ones there, and back to normal, exactly what we did before. We pick up the new card and we read it. So, straight away we have an event, so let's do that. Stick that up to 1. What does 1 do? It gives us +1 sanity. Fantastic. So in this case, I am currently at 11 sanity. If I try to move it up to 12, you'll see, if you're playing, the background changes to a darker grey. This means that I have effectively got to the limit of my tier 1 character. Now, tier 1 and tier 2, you can upgrade your character later on from tier 1 to tier 2, unlocking higher stats and more abilities for the character. Obviously, I'm not tier 2 yet, so I can't go anything higher than 11. That's stuck at 11 for now. So even though I would gain 1 sanity, I don't, because I'm at max. Fine, we continue. So, the powerful stench of charred bodies haunted me still as I rapidly pulled upriver, away from the awful ritual I had witnessed. I was adrift on the Leith, lamentations of the dead ringing in my ears as I fled their pleas for rescue. The dead were all around, pale bodies choking the river from bank to bank. Had they also shed life, drunk the waters, and consigned themselves to eternity in this god-forsaken realm of maddening dream? I could not push against the rolling carpet. We swirled towards an immense hole. The Leith was draining, transporting the corpses into the underworld. The whispering of the priests went on and on in my aching head. Suddenly, a voice cries out for aid. You may search for the survivor, which is a investigate 2, or we can resist this dream sent by Cthulhu, which is a will 4, or we can leave the boat and flee across the bodies, which is a strength 3. Oh, do I trust the people asking for help? I've got to help people. I've got to be nice about it. It's an investigate 2. Let's do it. So we get our 3 to begin with, as always. We also gain 1 extra because we're good at investigation. Do any of our items give us a positive in investigating? No, we do not. We only need 2. Let's see if I can make it with 4. Come on. That's the last one. We've got a left side, a right side, bang, we've made 1 success, and another right side, bang, we've made 2 successes. That's all I needed. Fantastic. I succeed. Switch it round. An old man lost amongst the corpses waved a feeble arm. With much effort, I drew near and dragged him onto the boat. Game lore card 119. Ooh, okay. So let's look through. Game lore card 119. 119. There we are. The oyster seller. Knowledge. I had met a highly respected old oyster merchant who sold the finest quality bivalves, or bivalves, I guess. His lined face and rough beard spoke of a hard life, but he was rumoured to also be the best river guide a traveller could hope to find. Ooh, okay, so there we go, and I can see that I've got a partial bit of a key code here for the oyster symbol, so we'll be keeping an eye out for that for now. For now, we put that in our lore section, just like the iridescent pool, and we continue. So, in gratitude, he guided me safely to the wharfs of Ulthar. Oh my god, okay, so before we do anything, we gain an XP for the card. Bump that up. And we have a reward still. We've obviously still got space available, so that's fantastic, we get to keep it. And we shift to Ulthar. So let's stick that in there. And I'm sorry, Valley of Sky, we only stayed for literally one card before we got whisked away to Ulthar. But at least we saved an oyster seller. So, Valley of Sky, just like the other, flips back round again, joins the other cards. Bam, stick them together. Valley of Sky right on the top of it. Get rid of that, we don't need it anymore. We're done. Done with that one. And we are traveling to Ulthar, the city of cats. Flip that round, we stick it down, we're now in Ulthar. Again, the event tracker goes back to 0. And we will separate the cards. So, in my case here, the cards that I have are numerical order, but they are still mixed between locked and unlocked. Very simple thing for me to do is all I'm going to do is I'm going to make 2 decks, one of locked, one of unlocked, and there you go. So, let's do that. There we go. Alright, so I've made my locked and my unlocked. Unlocked I will shuffle because straight away you're going to be picking them randomly, so let's shuffle that. And I'm going to stick it to the side. Now, locked, the way that I've done it is now in reverse order, so very simply I will do the same thing, just put them all out and it will put it back to the correct order. Done. Fantastic. Right, now it is in the correct order and all locked. So, stick that to the side. Nice. Right, we're now in Ulthar. So, same thing that we just did with Sky. We're going to take the top card of my open shuffle deck and read it away. Aromatic smells wafted from leaded windows below Ulthar's impressive rat house. I drank deeply of those flavourful odours, remembering the wonderful food offered by this most famous of rathskellers. Although it was early, I entered the tavern past Steve doors, unloading a cart of beer kegs. Some patrons were already here, enjoying plates of seared sabar, grilled kell sausage, or the locally famous urticaria soup. The sheer number of cats wandering around and pestering the restaurant staff was astounding. Fantastic. So, I gain +1 sanity. Again, I can't go anything higher than 11. We haven't lost anything so far, so that's fine. So, you may order food from today's menu, which is a weight 0. We can gossip to the barmaid who serves you, which is a barter 1. Or we can recall previous visits, which is a deja vu. Okay. Again, we can see that we have a key code here. I have no idea what that links to. We have not gained any card that links to this, so we can't do anything just yet. I'm going to recall previous visits with my lucid dreaming. So, I'm going to put my lucid dream down from 2 to 1, and we succeed straight away, so I flip it round. A hawkish man with a deep scar on his chin pointed me out to an Eastern European woman with curling dark hair. They seemed covertly interested in me. There are no rewards on this card, so we don't get to keep it. And it doesn't lead anywhere, so that's it. Interesting, we just got a little tidbit of lore. Straight back into the memories now. We have been unable to put things in memories because they've all gone to my rewards, or we've been kicked somewhere else. But that's that done. On to the next card. The ascending steps were festooned with flowering shrubs in pottery urns and archways leading to private courtyards. My thoughts turned inwards to my waking life, lost in time and in danger of being forgotten should I fail to awaken from this nightmare prison. I stopped as waves of cold despair passed over. The figure ahead stopped also, as did those ascending higher up. Like an image caught between mirrors, we were all trapped, forced to ascend these endless steps together. I looked down, an endless chain of humanity stretched to infinity. Many were me, but many thousands more were other dreamers, caged also within their own minds. Ooh, okay. A Siamese cat suns itself on the steps. You may use lore card 33 to ask the cat what are these steps. We do not have lore card 33, so we can't do that one. Try to make sense of what you're seeing, which is I think 4, or you can choose to leave via an archway. I want to try... I don't want to leave just yet, so I'm going to try to make sense of what I'm seeing. So think 4. Are we good at think? No. Do we have anything that gives us think with our items? Nope. So let's try with just what we have so far. So we get a 3 to begin with. There's 1 success. That's fantastic. And we have a right hand side. I'm going to roll my heirloom. Nice, there's 2. That then links up with this one to make 3. I still need 1 more. Okay, so in this case I wouldn't pass. So what I will do is I will use 2 of my rewards cards because they both each have a think symbol in them. So I'm going to use both these rewards cards, decide to get rid of them, into the memories, and we get 2 halves. So we get 1 half for each reward that we've used. So I need both of these to give me a success, unless if I don't, I fail. Come on. There's a right, and no, that's another right. Damn. Okay, so we only got 3. Only got 3 out of 4, so we failed. Actually, maybe let's see about using some of my deja vu for that. I can use 1 deja vu to add a mastery to my rune pool. So I will use my deja vu and I gain a mastery. So let's roll that. Let's see if it works. And nothing. Okay, well, that really didn't help. And if I wanted to use my lucid, it gives me a high fortune, but I kind of want to keep my lucid for now just in case for later, so I'm going to get rid of it. Doesn't matter, we failed anyway. We tried, it's whatever. So we failed. I tried turning around and descending. Those below me did the same. I walked down the next flight, but the passage remained the same as before. I had not progressed at all. The cat, however, had disappeared as if it had never been. Damn. Okay, well I do still gain a XP for it, so that's good. The penalty is that I lose a mastery. Thankfully I don't have a mastery for skills, but if I did I would have to get rid of it. And I get forced shift to a different location. So, I mean, all I've been doing is shifting from place to place. But yeah, so we get kicked out of Althar. This goes to memories. Althar goes back with all the rest of the cards and back into the box, and I would be shifted to a place at random. I am going to end the tutorial here. We've managed to go through 3 different places, or well, technically would have gone through our 3rd place there. Actually no, 4th place. But as it's a tutorial, I'll stop here. For anyone else who's continuing alongside me, all you would do is take the portal cards of each of the areas, shuffle at random. I'm looking away. The white ship. So I would be sent to the white ship, and what you do, just as normal, is you separate the 2 cards. You get the open, you get the closed, put them to your sides, open up the new thing, send the event tracker back to 0 again, and we continue just like we did on every other card. So there you go. that's it. I hope that helped.